Hello there, my name is Nicole Laswell. I call myself the Inner Peace Broker. I also have a handle on Instagram, Parenting Autism Heaven on Earth. Most of this information is actually on my website, NicoleLaswell.com. I have decided to take the blog, the Parenting Autism blog that I have on my website, and create these videos because I know that sometimes reading takes a little bit longer, and it's easier to digest video and audio while you're on a walk or on the run, or when you're in your car. You can just listen to what I have to say. And again, this is just to help out, especially when you're overwhelmed at the beginning, when you find out your child has just been diagnosed with autism. This is actually about the third, it's the expanded version of the third point on my top 10 things I wish I would have known when our children were diagnosed with autism. The title of the blog is actually ABA Speech and OT Therapies, what they are and what to look for in therapists. So ABA therapy, what is it? It stands for Applied Behavioral Analysis. This is a scientifically proven way to improve the symptoms of many behavioral issues, including those with autism. It can be controversial for some. I'm not going to address the controversy. I'll just say this is what we've done. This is what's worked for us so far. So ABA, what it does, the main tenet of ABA is it's positive reinforcement. It's interesting how human behavior develops. We all do something in order to gain something. Meaning we will work for something that we feel is worthy of our work. So most people will work for a paycheck. That is a positive reinforcer. So the thing is, with children on the spectrum, you look at their behavior and you look at those things that, and you look at what they love, what they don't love. You have to be very observant with them. Just like a neurotypical child, you know if your child loves dolls, right? Will they do anything for a doll? Well, mine will do anything for a Lego or a Cheerio or an apple. So much so that he would look at me in the eye. Neurotypical children just go straight up to you, go, apple, doll. You know, it's no big deal. They're communicating with you. But with children on the spectrum, it's a little harder to make them communicate with you. So what you do is you have to find those things that they will work for, use them to your advantage to then create this communication between you, and the child is not as communicative. So for example, when Will was younger, he still loves apples, but he would just open up the refrigerator door, and sometimes he would open up the fruit door or drawer, and he would just leave it open, and he'd go and do his ee sound. And I'd look at him and I'd realize, I'm like, okay. And then he would just continue going, and I'd realize, I think it's apples, but he wouldn't say anything. He'd just continue going. So as I got taught in the ABA therapy and how to do it, I realized, okay, I need to make him start saying what he wants. So he starts putting two and two together. Oh, to get the apple, I need to say apple, please, and then I'll get the apple. And I need to look. So I would just grab the apple and I go, Will, is this what you want? Is this thing? And he just kind of look at me, and he'd look away real quick. Will, can you say apple? And all of a sudden I would hear apple. I'm like, good job, Will. Can you look at me and say apple, please? He goes, apple, please. Yay, awesome, good job. It was a big party. That's part of the reinforcer as well, because it's positive attention, yay. Then I get my apple at the end. So now he knows that in order to get apple, he needs to say apple, please. But it's you have to repeat it over and over again. We're finally, and this was when he was 3 years old. Now he's 10, and now I'll be peeling an apple, or sometimes I'll be peeling sweet potatoes, and he'll be like, Mama, what are you doing? I'm peeling an apple. Apples? Can I have an apple? Yes, you can have an apple. So it's the whole idea that it took that long and that much reinforcers, but he has a language now. Before, he didn't have it. So it was a fantastic tool for creating communication between Will and I. It did not change Will at all. That's part of the controversy, where they feel like, well, you're making someone do something. What we were trying to do is create a connection for him to be able to speak out, reach to us, and be able to ask for those things that he wants, self-advocate. So if it's used correctly, it's a wonderful tool. So ABA therapy And then there's also speech therapy. Speech therapy is where you actually see how much is going in, how much does he understand in language, how can he articulate, can he make R's, can he make L's, can he make P's, can he read, and how much can he produce. So a great speech therapist in conjunction with an ABA therapist is priceless. And then you have the OT therapy, occupational therapy, and these people are the one that works with fine motor skills and gross motor skills. Fine motor skills would be the ones with writing, cutting, following lines, anything that has to do with manual dexterity. And then gross motor skills would have to do with walking, jumping on one foot, riding a bike. But on top of the occupational therapy, getting these gross motor skills working, they also work with sensory input. So something interesting about some kids on the spectrum, some of them really like that pressure because for them, it's really hard to feel their body in space. That's why a lot of people love the water, because you can feel your body in that water. When you're out of the water, for some of the brain, for them, it just doesn't register as well. And so it feels very disorienting. So that's why heavy blankets, that's why people are loving the heavy blankets, because they give you a sense of comfort. You are being held. So occupational therapy is great in that. It teaches them how to self-soothe and find these methods that can help them, feel centered and back in their body. So a great therapy place, this is where I say, how do you know you found a great therapy place? With the great ABA therapists or BCBAs, behavior board certified behavior analysts, speech therapists, and occupational therapists. You walk into the place and it feels wonderful. It's clean. People are ready to help you. The children are happy. Usually that's a pretty good space. But this is where I also tell people you have to do your homework. We're blessed or lucky to be born in the space we're born in right now. There's so many kids that are having it, so many places are opening up that you can find. It's getting easier to find a place of therapy close to you. I used to have to drive miles all the time to just take them to this one space. Absolutely worth it for me. But you have to do your homework. Talk to the board certified behavior analyst, the BCBA. Talk to the occupational therapist, find out, just see how you will have a working relationship with this person, with these people, because they will be working with your child on a daily basis. Our boys went to ABA therapy from 9 to 4 every single day, Monday through Friday, even during the summers. It was intensive, but absolutely worth it. What's amazing about the BCBAs that we worked with was that they also made sure that the parents were equipped to be able to take whatever they learned in therapy and apply it at home. So we were actually taught ABA therapy, and this is why I was telling you about the whole Apple thing with Will. I do it all the time with everything. If he's not paying attention, I just know that yelling and expecting him to understand me on the first try is just not going to happen. So I have to be very hands-on. And again, this is the blessing that I've been a teacher all my life. I taught Spanish for many years. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, I can use it here as well. So this is where you're going to put your teacher hat on. But a good BCBA will make sure that you learn how to use these. It was so wonderful because one of the places of therapy that we went to, we were actually given PowerPoint presentations, an hour each, and then we had homework. We had to record ourselves doing ABA therapy at home with our kids, and we got to critique each other, and it was great because it was a bunch of parents with this BCBA, and we got to feel part of this community where we were learning how to do this therapy, and our kids were doing really well. They were starting to talk more and more and more. So what's also amazing about some other places is you should meet with your BCBA at least once a month, where you can kind of touch base. These are the goals that the BCBA has put together for your child, where they are in the spectrum, and they're super creative too. Sometimes it's a trial error thing. You set, the BCBA sets these goals And sometimes the way that we try to get to that goal works. Like, for example, a goal could be to be able to look at you in the eye every time you call his name. And that is literally what that was one of our goals, and we got it mastered when we could say will, and within the first 3 tries he would look at us without us having to touch him or anything. He understood that we were asking for his attention. He would just for a little bit of time, he'd be like, look at us, and we would make a party. Yay, Will, you looked at me, good job. And that's how we slowly trained him to now he responds to his name. He goes to public school. He has friends. He still has his stuff. I mean, he still needs help, but it's unbelievable what these amazing BCBAs, ABA therapists, and then all the other ABA therapists, because we had the BCBA, the person in charge of creating the goals, had people working under him or her to then work with our child one-on-one. Some places hire high school graduates, some places hire higher than high school. And so just keep that in mind. Some places have turnover, so ask about that. Do you keep the same therapist? So that means if the therapists are happy, it's probably a good place to have your child receive therapy. So yeah, just do your homework. Talk to the therapist and know that they're there to work with you. You're not alone, and they have a wealth of knowledge that as us parents, we just didn't have. So I would rely on them quite a bit to just kind of help us find answers for any little thing that would pop up. He was having behaviors with X, Y, or Z. They would come up with an idea, and we would implement it, and it would fix. It would work. So just make sure that you are open. Sometimes the place of therapy works for a little bit and then it doesn't anymore, and that's okay. You just do your homework, find a new one. But make sure that you're also being receptive. Don't take anything personal if you can, as best you can. Just be as positive as you can. Have faith that it's going to work, and it will work. If you have any questions, please use the Contact Us page, and I would love to answer. I hope this is, I know it's very technical and it can get a little overwhelming, so just take whatever you picked up today from listening to me and go with those steps, just one at a time. Next week, I hope to have the next blog up and video. If not, just go to my website and read all the blogs if you want to just have one sitting of all that information. And all I hope is that as a service to you, that you are at peace, because if you, the parent, are not at peace, you're not going to be able to do a good job with the kiddos. So take care of yourself. Oxygen mask on you first. I hope that it's a service, and I wish you all the best. Pat yourself on the back. You're already doing a great job. God bless. Bye.